I call the meeting of the Newbury Historical Commission to order at
7:05.
7:07 and February 13th, 2025. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, minutes from last month's meeting. Let's see if we can get those done.
Oh, we're all here.
Yes, January 9th.
Do you have all your stuff?
Oh, no, I read them at home, but it doesn't matter because I wasn't there, so I wouldn't know whether they're right.
Okay.
This is my picture.
Any errors, omissions, or corrections?
No, Rich? No. Wow. Glad I'm sitting down for that one.
Okay, entertain a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I move that we accept the minutes of the January 9th, 2025 meeting as written.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Treasurer's report.
Yeah. Here's two for you guys. And this rest of them for that. So,
Yes, do tell.
if you look down in the middle, you can see what happened.
So they just deleted it?
It's gone. So, and this is my fault. I mean, I got too comfortable with Eileen when she was there. We would just talk and she would transfer our money over. And we have a new
Right.
person now, and they apparently sent out an announcement to it, which went to which everybody else has got my new email address, and she had the one
An old
that I
one.
used 3 years ago, so I
Okay.
never got an announcement.
Okay.
But they never contacted the clerk or the president either.
Yeah, like they didn't follow up at
Yeah.
least. Okay.
Yeah.
So is it gone
So,
forever?
okay, so what happened was, so I've got all this is the backup. Remember I said I'd
Yeah.
get the timeline. So I met with Eva for about, I don't know, 40 minutes or something, the new what is she, accountant, I guess, or something like that. Yeah, town accountant, on this topic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't quite understand what's going on, but, okay, they're always,
Reassuring.
every year you hear me say, I'm not getting my reports yet, but I think my records are okay
Right.
going forward. So in October, I got my first report from them. I think this first one was in October. Okay, what's this? Hang on just a second. Oh, this is the end of the year. So
Okay.
our numbers were okay at the end. So on 30th of June, 2023, 4, we were okay. So so I've got this here. Okay. Then, in September, I got my first report in September. And I only got one attachment, which was just one of our accounts. And I called and asked about it, and anyway, I didn't get another one. So by October, I said, I've got to have my information. In October, she sent me my information, and lo and behold, account 1, correct. Account 2 with the $3,500 in it, correct. Account 3, correct, with
Right.
the cash. So everything was fine. I was concerned about that money going over because we hadn't had a report on it. So there it was,
In October?
October 31st. It was there.
And then January was gone.
And,
basically.
no, not January. But, okay, and when the report came out on, almost January, December 12th,
Okay.
expenditure, through November 30th. Through November 30th, we only got two
Right.
reports. And I didn't think too much of that because usually they come in separately. Sometimes I get one, sometimes I get two, sometimes I get three. And so I called about that. And that was, I don't know when that call, I can't remember, but what I did and had them go back and look triggered something, because that's when we all got that letter that email from Eva, which I believe everybody was on the email. Shannon? Huh, really? I didn't print the thing out, I just print the, anyway.
You can forward it to her later.
Let's see if I've got, let me see if I can find just a minute, I've got too much stuff.
So reading this, so we're gonna have to do a town meeting vote to get our money back?
So we have to have it, because it's been transferred, yeah, here, it's right here, let's see, who got this?
Do we need to keep it a special account afterwards? Can we just put it in our general gifts or
No,
something?
it's,
Like,
the whole point of it was because it was the money that was left from the
Oh, all right,
375th.
right.
And
So we want to keep it
the
separate.
400s is gonna be coming, and we'd already have a foothold of money to start
Gotcha.
off with.
Gotcha.
So,
All right.
so they sent us an email warning saying that if it's not turned in by July 25th, that.
It'd get rolled
That
into-
it was too late. Yeah.
So where is it now? In like general funds for the
It's
town?
been transferred over to free cash. And the only way to get it back is to go to town meeting and have them vote it back to us.
Oh, we're gonna make the biggest stink at town meeting then. And we have to make sure that they give it that back to us.
Yeah.
'Cause that's.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, everything seemed to be okay until I called and
It's like a
asked
clerical
about
error.
it,
That
because I
should
was
just
still
be
getting
fixed.
reports on it, right? I had that report that said the money was there. This one here that has our three accounts, 1, 2,
That's
3.
annoying.
And that was as of the 31st of October, right? October
So
31st.
they did this mid-fiscal year.
They did it, well, they took it out, it
Yeah.
was still here.
Right.
On that date, and then sometime after I made it visible
Yep.
by saying, where's the thing?
Yep.
That's when we lost it. So they must have gone back and seen that the rollover request wasn't given in writing.
Ah,
So I think Shannon probably did
understand why
this
that even
long
needs to be
ago.
done.
When I
That
first
should
took
just
it
be
over,
assumed.
I wrote the thing to have them roll it over. And then Eileen and I would just talk and she would just move it over. I didn't have to do it
Right.
officially, right? But I should have. That's why I say it's my fault.
No, understandable, but it's just
But
like,
anyway,
it just seems like there'd be a precedent, like
But-
that it's been rolled over 1,000 times.
It's obvious
Well-
it's the end of the year.
That's what I mean,
Everybody's
like-
accounts are empty at the end of the year.
yeah.
Clearly, it's being saved. It's
That's what I
self-explanatory.
mean. That's what
I
it's
don't
like.
want
It's
to say
so
anything
so
like that,
silly.
but it
It's
seems like
called
a
A
coincidence.
special account for a reason. And it seems to me that I'm in there every week.
Right, like
Yeah.
double check.
And-
Just double check with another
And
person.
Somebody else should have been
frustrating.
contacted if she sent you emails and didn't get a response.
Hmm.
Then logic should say to you,
Hey,
there must be something wrong with this email
Yeah.
account, and bring it up to somebody else to get another one from
that's why we have multiple members.
somebody in the office. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like they're in a vacuum,
Right.
so.
It's frustrating.
Anyway,
Okay.
so, but.
And it's not like they're not nice people and they're
No,
not
right,
working
it's
hard
just-
or
it's
Hey,
anything,
just-
Mark,
it's
really nice
just.
talk with you.
It's silly,
Yeah.
it's
Okay,
silly
so
paperwork.
going forward, this has to get, so.
We have to vote, we have to, how do we
this
make
has
it
to get-
vote?
So we need to
Town
get
meeting.
on the agenda, because they're finalizing
For the
the
April town
agenda for
meeting.
town meeting if we want to try and get it back. So I'm not.
So we need to get on the warrant, is what you're saying.
I was gonna say, yeah, how the steps to do that, so.
Whatever, it's got to be voted on in the meeting and to be
We
voted on
made a
in the
mistake and
meeting.
we would like our money back, please. Can you guys vote to have our?
I don't know how that stuff works, but I wasn't going to do it without, I knew I had a meeting in a day, right, or 2 days, you know, why, I'll just bring it up here.
Jan needs to send a letter to the
We, yeah,
town administrator.
You were supposed to have talked to Tracy about 2 months ago already, so. It's been brought up several times.
What's that?
to Tracy. All right.
What has?
No, we're just
Requesting
doing it.
that the special archival account of $3,456.67 needs to be replenished.
Yeah,
At the town meeting. And, I don't know, what else do we say?
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you.
so on 6/3, they sent the first announcement to me at the old email address. And it wasn't resent to me until November 14th. So that's the first time I saw this.
So when was the first email?
6/3. June 3rd. So in advance of the year end. And there's a sentence at the back that says, you should also review any special articles with balances in your department. Please let us know if the article balance can be closed or carried forward. So, but again, I didn't have it. And then on the 25th, they sent another one out apparently to the same email address saying that, hey, you haven't filed your thing yet, which I didn't get. So,
All right. Fun times.
and that was I guess that was the closing day, 7/25/24, yeah. So
6/24.
I am really sorry, everybody.
We'll get it back.
They have to-
The town has to agree.
Well, I would like to think that,
Year ends
Probably just a
6:30.
majority.
yeah,
Yeah,
but, you
but
know,
still.
They have to.
so we
have
pitch
time
it to
go
them
through and
if we have to,
balance
you
things
know,
out
this
and
is
go
our
through
money
stuff
for
and
the
everything.
celebratory, you know,
Well,
and remind everybody that that's coming right around the corner.
And I did get a little lecture on, it's been sitting there for 11 years. and
So?
Do you have any plans for it? No, I know, I just,
Yes, we do.
so
have
everybody said,
Yeah, it's called the
It just takes a while to get to
Next
400. We're getting there.
anniversary.
And they're the ones that forced us to take it out of a private checking account at
Really?
the bank
And put it
and put it
Into this.
in to the town hall
figures.
accounting system. It'd be safe there.
And it is safe there, it's just
and,
moved
and,
somewhere.
and it was fine until, we got new people in there and
Yeah.
they just, didn't have my right email address.
Right.
And because I didn't know
Well, again,
them,
I just
I
like to
didn't
think,
stop
like,
in and
some-
talk to them on a
Some
regular
precedent
basis.
should have been, considered if you can't hear people, come back from
The
people.
the last time we had a little bit of an issue that you guys wouldn't be seeing anything of, things were going to Channing and me, and I finally sent a CC Tracy and said, please CC the Historical Commission email. But what do we have the email for if no one's gonna use it?
Yeah, for keeping track of things.
So that, because what if he's not around? What if something happened to his email? Then nobody knows about it.
Right.
And it's not right.
Yeah.
That's what we didn't create the email account.
No, the
town
whole idea
did.
is to keep track of things.
So there's no reason it shouldn't be CC'd.
Speaking of that, now, is the historical,
The new email?
the new email gonna
Yeah.
change?
Of
We already
course.
did that.
You think I haven't already done this?
Yeah, we already did that. Did you
Okay.
update your email?
No?
Change it.
Did anybody send out an email to tell you to change the email?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it went to the historical commission.
I know that, but did anybody send it to me?
I don't
Yeah,
know,
probably.
because I don't know if you ever read anything.
Oh, they
Probably.
I didn't get any
You don't
emails.
see if
I
it
got
all went
CC'd
to.
on the change of the email address. from
I got
Jan.
it, and I immediately went in and changed Jan's email underneath her, because she's got Jan's email and the historical email under
So in
Jan.
other
I
words,
didn't
you're
change
not
mine yet.
looking at
Get
the
a room,
emails that I sent you.
I am trying to
Oh,
go
you're
through them.
trying.
I get 100 emails a day.
He's a very popular man.
I'm sorry, do you have the violin? I'm sorry.
I get about 50, so.
I get a lot, too.
So
I
I
get
feel,
a lot too.
I feel
And I
good,
have
yeah.
2 different email accounts to look at besides. I know
Yeah,
you
all
have,
right.
I'm sure,
We're good.
several. However,
We'll get the money back.
you have to look at the names and then go delete, or put them in a.
I just
have
mostly
a
just
read
crap
later
email.
folder that I can go into afterwards, because I'm trying to look at the stuff I need to look at now.
I'd love to
So
use
is it
that
from
money to
you?
fix another 1 or 2 of those maps up in the attic if they're worth it.
The email change email?
Well, I think, but
Could
that special
be.
account was saving for the
They
300.
sent, the town sent a thing out,
400,
but
I'm sorry.
it's,
Yeah.
because I had to go in and
Why do
update
you have
the
it so
permit
long?
link
We're
thing,
waiting
because it
for
wasn't
the-
working right.
It takes a while to get
And
there.
now that's working right again finally. But I can't be the only one who can get into that email account either. So,
And, I'm not done.
There's more.
We, according to Eva, we have not submitted our budget for the next year.
oh, that's the biggest load.
What?
It was
Yeah.
submitted like 2 months ago.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been submitted and refused.
Really?
Oh,
Yes,
refused.
refused. Return to sender.
That's,
So we have no budget next year?
It's level funded from the year before.
Oh, okay.
So it was, the year before it was January. This year we have to have it in by November, and we didn't get it in by November, so they won't accept it.
So
This
she
is,
didn't tell me
this
that.
is when I sent the email and said, please CC the Historical Commission's email account when you're sending these dated things.
yeah. So everybody gets an eyes
So
on
one
it.
person is not the only person that's getting the information.
Or not getting it,
Right.
yeah. I
So,
mean, and everybody's got, I
Because
don't
God
know
knows
about you, but
I
every once in a
dropped
while
into some
AOL
of the
says,
stuff, so.
I think I'll put this email in spam, you know, in the spam folder.
Right.
For no reason. I mean, it's, you know, it's an individual, it's nothing weird, somebody that I get emails from.
All correspondence in business needs to be answered. Somebody sends you an email, you answer it. And if they don't answer, then it didn't make it to its destination. That's common business practice.
Yeah.
and now they've changed everything because we're in the .gov world now.
Right.
Which I don't have a problem with the whole reason behind it and everything, but it does take a lot of changing and.
Adjustment
there was-
time.
And there were very many four-letter words going on in my house, trying to get the Historical Commission site back up, the email up.
Yep.
And finally, I could get it on the tablet, but I couldn't get it on the laptop yet, and I'm like, follow all the instructions
Right.
to the
You-
letter of the law, and it just sat there like, did you want something? So it's
So,
finally, they're
Lon-
both up, and everything's gotta be .gov.
It will be.
That goes to the town now.
So the budget is level funded from last year.
Okay.
No, they refused to help us.
Great.
Okay.
Anything else in the treasurer's
As long as
report?
it's not zero. That's
Yeah.
all
Not
I was
zero.
worried about. Okay, that's it, and again, I apologize, because it's giving us grief for no reason. I could have just filed a piece of paper.
It's typical.
You know, it's not like we're the United States government here.
Well,
It's not like there's
Like the-
800 people to
Right.
worry about. I'm sorry, it's just some of the stuff, it's like, if you're not getting an answer, then maybe you could put a note in our mailbox
Yeah.
downstairs
right. Yeah. Respond.
that I look at every single week, but no. So I get annoyed with the excuses. There's no excuse. You either contact people, you don't get an answer right away on something that's very important, then you have to find another way to contact them.
Yeah.
Maybe their phone is down, maybe the email's broken, maybe there's a reason, so find another way around it.
So, Jan, I'm gonna make a copy of this whole package.
Okay.
And then give it to you for the record.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no, it's just too much, I didn't wanna make a copy for everybody. So, just, you know,
And they
like,
don't really want it either.
Yeah, it's all right.
And
You just
they don't
scan
want
it,
it either,
email it to
right.
her as like a file.
huh?
You just scan it, maybe email it to the email account, then we have it as a file. And then she doesn't need more
How do you
papers.
just scan it? My scanner takes one page at a time.
Oh, I don't know, that's how I do it. All right,
I just put everything in the printer and scan it.
Okay,
Oh, can you do that
yeah,
at the office? In town hall?
Yeah, you can do that too, I think, but I don't know, right now, everything is up in the air and loopy over there,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
so.
How about
I'll see if I
the-
can.
Today they were
I don't
fixing
wanna
the
sit there and
phones,
do
'cause
one
there was a
page at
problem
a
with all
time
the
because
phones
it's,
working right,
Great.
so.
because halfway through it gets screwed up and then the PDF file that it's trying to create gets screwed up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, sorry.
Give me a
I'm
copy
80.
and I will scan it in and, or whatever, it's no problem.
What's that?
Just make a copy for me and, or whatever, and I'll take care of it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'll keep this, so I'll make a copy of that
Yeah.
then. Okay.
No problem.
okay, motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as written.
Second,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, Lon, you're up again.
Oh, what am I up for this time?
Lower Green update.
I didn't print out a thing.
It's all right, you can just update.
Yeah, okay, the Lower Green Local Historic District. Okay, let's see, this goes
Didn't I
with
give you a
this.
copy?
So, we're getting somewhere. We got a surprise the other day. The person that's going to accept the Lower Green Study Committee, or Local Historic District Study Committee's study report at Mass Historical resigned, and her last day is tomorrow. And
Jen.
she promised
Yeah.
us 7-day turnaround on our document. And so that's what's in our schedule. And we don't know what we're gonna get.
Right.
We did ask her to go down and assign this to somebody so that we know who to send it to, and we've got all that going. But, because that's the only way we can make, because all this stuff has to be filed
Right.
for the town meeting in advance. So, and the select board has to approve it too. So, so everything's going as planned, except that 7 days may not be realistic anymore. And I'm not sure what happens then. So, but that's the biggest thing. Everything else is pretty much done. Now, did you send out a copy of the bylaw to everybody, Jan, that Ellie sent you?
Yes, we got a copy in an email.
Everybody got one? Okay, yeah, okay. I know I got one, I didn't look up to see. So, what's being proposed in there? What did I do with that stuff? That's here. What's being proposed is that the Newbury Historic Commission becomes the commission, or the committee for reviewing the local historic district. In other words, like we're managing the bylaw, demolition delay bylaw, this would be the same thing. It's, otherwise there's gotta be a separate committee
Yeah, I didn't,
set
I
up,
didn't
and we
understand
need
that
6
from the
more
email.
volunteers.
Well, so
to
you're
take
saying it's the historic oversees,
the lower Green Local Historic District, correct?
so, has somebody done research with other towns that have already done this, probably? Like Ipswich and Hamilton? So we get an idea of what the precedent setting is for what overseeing really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
Like if you guys start making radical movements and start banning different colors of paint.
so if you read the bylaws, no paint. It's not-
Give people freedom to paint.
Freedom to paint, no, I was fighting for something on metal roofs, because sure as heck, somebody's gonna put a metal roof on.
Bright red
And it'll
one.
be bright red.
Yeah, I know.
But it does say nothing on roofing materials.
Doesn't
It says that.
say anything on roofing material, no.
And what else? The other, nothing on
Yeah.
sidewalks.
Nothing on sidewalks.
Parking
I
areas need
wanted
to be
fences in
reviewed.
there too, and it's not listed. But the committee that manages this thing, whoever it may be in the end, would be, can go in through and rearrange things. But it has to be approved.
So the way I read the email was that they were talking about merging the local historical district commission or committee and
Well, not-
the historical commission.
Yes, that's what I brought up.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Well, it's
that's
not,
what it
it's
said.
not merging, it's just, at the end of this meeting, we adjourn, and then we convene the next meeting, and if there's no business, then we,
I'm
So they
not
want
getting
us
that.
to
I'm
take
sorry.
over it?
it's
basically?
this group. The only problem is that the committee for the local historic district has to have at least one member that lives in the district. We qualify now.
Okay.
So until I move or die, or get thrown off this for screwing up the treasurer's thing.
It's all your fault.
But until that happens, we fit the bill.
So they only need one of our members.
Only one
To
member,
be living
one
within the
member,
district?
To
one
live.
member of the
To be qualified.
local historic district committee has to live in the district.
You all live in the district.
No, the district is just this little area around the green.
No, because you have to have certain people on it, so that's
Oh,
where
the whole
us,
realtor
Benea
and
came
an
in.
architect and like this board, yeah.
Yeah,
And there's
although
certain
you
things
don't,
we didn't
those
have.
aren't as firm as somebody that has to live there. It sounds like that like Mass Historical is gonna want to see that.
So,
But the other ones, whether you've got an architect or not, that's not
I
important.
still don't get operationally, how does this merger work?
There's no merger.
So
This would be the
This
committee.
becomes the committee
This becomes the committee.
for the
Well,
local historic
It's
district?
just that you have to run that.
Separate and apart from the study committee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and the reasoning is that a small town, it doesn't make any sense for what little traffic's gonna come through this thing. It doesn't make any sense to have to find 5 to 6 more volunteers to come in and meet monthly to basically convene and adjourn.
So we'd be
But-
adding like a second meeting at the end of our meeting.
Yeah, we would
basically.
adjourn, and then we would
Start over.
reconvene, and would be no business, and then we would adjourn, or unless there's something to do, yeah.
I like the quickness.
How many properties did you figure?
Oh, God, hang on.
roughly.
Just a rough.
It's 65 acres, hang on. I didn't bring any of that with me.
At least a dozen or so.
At least.
Oh, no, it's more than a dozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
So-
We're going all the way to
But-
the
but, you
river,
know, but-
right?
Acres is nothing, I'm on 43.
yeah, but, okay, the trustees are one, well, they're not gonna build on their property. Greenbelt's another, they're not gonna build on their property. The other one is the green itself, nothing's gonna be happening there that we don't already get involved with, so.
But it's
and
going
it's-
on,
oh,
and
and the
then it's going all
cemetery's
the
one,
way
the
to
cemetery's one.
to the river, right? It's going to the river,
It goes
correct?
to the river, correct.
So now
And
this
so the
town-
city property is one of them, too, the landing down there, is it?
So now this town has a bylaw that you can't be on more than one board at a time. But I am to
Ah,
Yeah.
I am to understand that when I just did my training this month, I hope some
I have
of you
I have
guys,
avoided that.
you would have probably heard this in the conflict of interest training, that if it is not a paid board and it doesn't meet for more than 400 hours a year, then you can be on more than one.
oh, okay,
So we will have to check that with town council.
okay.
Write that down.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah. Because that's what I was thinking though immediately. Like, how does it make sense to?
So basically, the agenda item just goes to the end of the meeting.
From what Elizabeth is saying, Ellie's saying, this is the way the smaller towns do it. So, but we don't know what their bylaws look like either, so maybe they allow
All
it.
right.
Yeah, so we better check that.
Okay,
So, so we're an unpaid board and we're under the hourly thing. So
I
I
mean,
think that would be okay, but we should check it.
Do we meet 4,000? What was it?
400 hours?
400 hours? Do we even
Let's
meet
see,
400
we
hours?
don't meet 12.
Yeah, well, let's see, I mean, we basically might meet 48, because we might meet 2 hours
That's what
a
I'm saying. That
month, so
seems like
maybe
an
48
excessive amount.
hours
So
a
what
month,
about-
a year.
So other bigger towns like Ipswich,
They all have separate.
they have a much bigger district, and
yeah,
Hamilton
they
has a
probably,
bigger
it's
district.
probably different there, well, then they've got a
So-
bigger population too.
Yeah,
So what happens is, theoretically, the district just sits there quietly and nothing goes wrong. But what if there is a giant increase in workload? You know, if this is just gonna increase more to this board and doubling your work.
you're assuming I'm gonna still be on it?
You're assuming, who's gonna be on it?
I had to say it just to watch his face, sorry. Where are you going? Look at, he's purple, I know my God.
Well, when I read that letter today, it's like, no, we don't need any more to do.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I
we
expected
can't
to hear that.
barely keep up with what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, so what, only one, so other than you, once,
I make us work.
so it's a 5 to 7 man board, and,
Whatever the number, they need
You-
one in the district. One
So
person has to
you-
live there.
so can they have more
Oh, why
from the,
not?
can they have more from the district?
Doesn't say anything to that. And I don't know why that would be a
Well, I
problem,
guess it
unless
would
you,
make-
unless the whole
If they
board
don't have a
was.
quorum, I guess it doesn't make any difference.
Right. I mean, like, what type of things would even come up for this situation, for your agenda items? Like, what would,
Oh,
you know?
Point of, if somebody in the district is like, there's a war going on over a house,
Yeah, or
or a windmill.
or
Yeah.
somebody's house burns down and they sell the property and
Then they
the
wanna
developer comes in with
chalk up the
a
property.
3-story stucco house
Yeah, yeah.
with palm trees. Yeah. And then we would say, nah.
gotcha, all right.
And then,
we
and that's,
would kind
But
do
I was
anyway.
gonna, well, that's my
Yeah.
point. Like, it's kind of like that's what
They're
we-
overlapping duties, really.
I know.
Yeah, so I mean, if it's that kind of situation, I have no problem taking on the work, but if it's, you know, some sort of like weird extra,
We have to do all this research. and-
Yeah, like that's
Well,
where
see, it depends on what it's going to be for the rules.
Right.
Now, some of them, like the one who did we go to that time? Ipswich, we went out, Ipswich. And they have like one for the business district. They have one for
Yeah.
for this side of town. They have like 6 different
Yeah.
districts. So it's a whole different, you know, scenario. I mean,
responsibilities.
right now, we're talking about, we're already taking care of the Lower Green to start with because it's, the schoolhouse is on it. And it's not going that much further north than, it's only going up to
and
where the
and
cemetery is.
and a lot of the houses have covenants on them saying you can't do this anyway.
But
Like the pumpkin house and the neighbors across from me have one, the Seddon Tavern has one.
Does Robin have anything on his?
I don't think so.
But I see the Upper Green eventually doing it too.
Upper Green's already in a district.
It's not,
It's not a local historic
it's a
district.
federal one, it's not.
It's a National Historic Registry District.
Yeah, right.
Totally, all it is
Oh, it's
is-
totally
So-
different.
So it's not like you're just doing, but I think it should be encouraged.
Yeah,
Once we know how to do it, you can do a second one, Lon.
Well, and down the line, if that starts getting too big, there's no reason why you just don't set up a standalone board. I
Yeah,
don't see any problem with that.
But if
It-
you get,
it
if
would
you get
have
into
the same
like 70 or 80
criteria.
properties, you know, you probably should have a separate group.
So in the writing, will it say the Historic Commission is also the District Commission, or will it just say our names?
Good question.
It has, it says the Newbury Historical Commission. It's in here, the wording is in here somewhere. Hang on. I printed the thing out. Oh, somebody's gone in and edited it since, this is why Google Docs is no good. Right? I expected a document to be there and it's full of edits. Let me find it though. Hang on, just take me a second because it's all out of order now. What did she say in her?
The Historic Commission and the Historic District Commission be the same 5 to 7 people.
Yeah.
The Historic Commission would continue to oversee the demo delay bylaw. The Historic District Commission would review proposals in the local historic district. If there was a demolition application for a property in the local historic district, both commissions would review separately. It's the same 7 people reviewing
gonna
the
say,
same thing
how is
separately. That makes no sense at all.
Well, I guess it depends on how you use the word separately. So in
We
other
would have to
words,
meet separately.
You have to
close
adjourn and
then
reconvene.
start.
Right.
Yeah.
But we'd have to do that anyway.
The meetings could be combined, but would have separate sections in the agenda.
Yeah.
Commissioners would need to be very clear what hat they were wearing for each application
Yeah.
and which bylaw they were working by.
Which makes sense, I mean, if you think about it.
Well, that makes
So,
sense.
I guess
I mean, it's
so.
logical.
You
And
wouldn't
then
bring
there's
up
the bylaw.
Right.
You wouldn't bring up the demolition delay bylaw in the second half of the meeting. You would bring that up in the Newbury
Right.
Historic Commission portion of the meeting. And if it had to do with the local historic district, you'd bring it up in the second
And you'd
half.
bring it up and you'd say, the commission has already ruled on that.
But that's potentially it too.
Yeah.
And we concur, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. We concur.
So my answer, Lon, is I guess it's doable, but I wanna see how the clock works. How the commission is see, calling it, it can't be just the Newbury Historic Commission is now is it just the members that transfer over, or is it literally the Newbury Historical Commission oversees the district?
No, that's
No.
not the way it reads.
No,
It
that's
reads
why
that
you
it's
have
the
to-
same-
you have
the
to
same
adjourn
people,
and
the same-
reconvene.
The same people
Right, you
on
just-
2 different commissions.
Yeah,
And they have to be very clear when they're having a public meeting, or, you know, a
Right.
meeting like this, which
hat you're wearing.
commission
Yeah,
they're working for at the time. But they're 2 separate commissions. It's not the historical commission taking over the local historic district.
That's what I wanna,
Yeah.
I wanna
Be made
see
clear,
that.
yeah.
And what happens, 5 of us are on one board, only 4 of us wanna be on the other board.
no, I
Then
think
what
you can do that as long as we're still left with, what was the minimum?
5 to 7 is what it says.
Yeah, so as long as we're left with 5.
What if the next year you lose a second person that doesn't
Well,
wanna be
you
on the board?
have somebody's got to, the select board has to appoint somebody else. Now, they could just be on, as far as I could see, so let's just say it happened yesterday. Okay, we adjourned, we reconvene, and then we do our business and then adjourn. And it's 6 of us, okay? I don't see any reason why when we reconvene, another person can't walk in the door.
Right.
And don't have to, I would think, I didn't see anything that said you had to be on the Newbury Historic Commission to be on the local historic commission.
Okay.
Well, that letter says something, the commission will oversee. This is why
Yeah,
I
I
said,
know
I
the
wanna
wording,
see how the
right.
clock works here,
That's
because,
why we want to do this before we send it to Mass Historical, because this is gonna be in what we send. Not that we can't change it, but once it's voted on, we can't change it. Not without a 2/3 majority.
So,
Okay, it essentially works like, yeah, see, that's
So
the
there's-
problem.
there's the exact
Essentially,
wording.
it works like this. The feeling I had was it's a separate committee with the same people,
Yeah.
separate commission, the same people, but it didn't say it had to only be those
got
same
it?
people.
Right,
printed it saying on my
Limited
front
to those same
Yeah.
seat. I
people.
got as
Yeah.
far as there.
So let's say I leave, okay, and I'm gone.
Who else would wanna
You
be on
guys
it,
don't
though?
qualify anymore.
Right. Right.
But when you, after you adjourn, if somebody else walks in the door that lives in the district and joins you in the second half of the meeting,
Then you do.
comply.
Gotcha. It's just, you're not going anywhere, so relax.
Yeah, so it's a little juggling, but the whole idea is, this way you don't have to make a
I
separate
wonder-
commission.
I wonder
to-
if we
to-
should recruit someone from the district to occupy the currently empty seat on the historical.
Then we'd have two, with much greater chance, right? And
Right.
When the
You could
bus
see
runs
if
over.
anybody's
we're
interested.
still
One,
good.
more likely to have a quorum,
Yeah.
and two,
We
that
always could
takes
use
care
more
of that
people.
contingency.
That's a great idea.
When Lon is out skiing somewhere.
Work your magic, start talking
Yeah.
your.
Well, I'm on the
talking to
commission, I don't
people.
have to be.
Yeah, talk to Robin or somebody who's out there, and
See if anybody wants to come hang out.
if anybody wants to get onto the
Yeah, I mean,
historical
Robin's
commission.
down there and he's very involved and he's on the lower,
Yeah.
he's on the historic, the
I'll-
lower green
I'll
district.
ask, well, this has got to pass 2/3 first,
Okay.
before the issue's
It's gonna pass
real.
2/3 of town meeting?
Yeah, yeah, just like our demolition delay
Have
bylaw.
you submitted it for town meeting?
Not yet. We're getting on the agenda. We stumbled a little bit when we found out this person was,
Okay, because the
Leaving.
selectman was here last month and wanted to know if you'd submitted it yet and how soon are you gonna have it in?
The warrant.
well.
The warrant item.
Yeah, I'm not involved in that, but suppose, they know it has to be on there.
Who's they?
There's Elizabeth, Ellie,
Okay.
and,
The folks who are
Robin.
currently on the,
yeah.
On the study.
Study committee.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. I'm just not part of that.
So, does somebody communicate, because it's a time thing, he
Yeah.
said this stuff has to be in now. So, are you sure they know
They do know,
They're
yes.
communicating?
Well, the reason I'm here telling you this is, they didn't want to submit it. They didn't want to do that until we ran this by the Historic Commission, and make sure there wasn't a major objection.
Is
Right.
this something that
Because-
requires a vote?
Huh?
Is this something that requires a vote here?
I don't know. I guess that would be okay, yeah, why not? Well, then, you know, but Channing must have do some more research first, I think.
Okay.
Well-
But if that's all holding up getting the warrant item submitted.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
get it done and
all
get the
it's-
warrant
all it's
item
hold-
submitted.
No, all it's holding up is us sending it to Mass Historical for review. So we could always fall off of the thing if we don't get it done.
Because
But-
at this point, I think the priority is to get it on the warrant for April.
Well, we have to get it that's right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
All right, well, somebody's,
But we don't want to send this off to Mass Historical they didn't want to, until we did this.
Until we agreed.
Actually, I didn't want to, until we did this.
but the bylaw that they sent us today, is that a draft or is that final?
That is the draft final going to Mass Historical. They will make edits, more than likely.
Okay, all right.
And
So
then we'll
we-
get it back and make those edits.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the select board, and they approve it, and then we can present it. But we need to get on
On the warrant.
on the agenda first, right?
Well, we need to be able to have time to study the whole thing and, I mean, I think, I don't know if we can make just a tentative, this is okay with us. Vote tonight. So that's still a draft.
Oh, it's a draft.
So there's still more.
I think what we're voting on is not the bylaw. What we're voting on is the setup of the
The
commission.
willingness to do
Right,
committee.
that's, right.
Our willingness to be also the commission is
Right.
what we're gonna vote on tonight.
right.
We're not voting on the bylaw.
Right.
Because we haven't had time to read it.
And it has not gone through Mass Historical yet.
And they're gonna edit it.
Right.
I still have a question of exactly how the clock works. It's us with the exchange of members, all the members transfer over. What if one doesn't want to? What if two go this way and another one goes this way? How's that all work? Or is it just all the members are automatically on both boards?
They're automatically on unless somebody doesn't want to be, as long as there's 5
Well,
when we're done.
I don't know. You can always have more,
Yeah,
but I think it's saying here
so say
that
as long as we
it's-
have 5.
I don't think there's gonna be a phrase in there that says it unless you don't wanna be. I think it is.
No, I think that could be put in there.
No, I don't think that's there. I
that
wouldn't think.
It's not a requirement that you be on both. That would clear that problem right up. It's not a requirement.
Yeah.
So in other words, if 4 out of 5 people are fine with being on both, and one person is not comfortable, then we need to get another person to fill that person's space for whichever commission, or however you want to put it, it's committee, it's,
If we
Needs the- needs the
if we have
person.
5, it's still okay,
so.
yeah. And
So-
then so my question was, though, can we, when we adjourn, can we, from this meeting, can somebody walk in the door and sit down, and now we're in the other meeting, and one of the people on that is only on that and not on the historic commission?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would think
That's-
so.
but
I
it's-
mean, they have different names
It's just not
still,
written
right?
that way, that's all.
They're still gonna have different names.
But you're still gonna, I could see one having an additional person, but the bylaw will be written that says the historic commission will also be the district commission. So is it saying that it is, and that's all it is, and you can't subtract?
Unclear. I
So
don't know
I
the
think we
answer
need to
that.
see what other towns are
Yeah.
already doing in their bylaws. Who wants to make a motion that this is a conditional approval, addition, a conditional, help me, Rich.
Yeah.
Well, first, try to say what you want to say, and then we'll make it sound good. Seriously.
This is the board's willingness to participate in the lower district commission operational, being the board
For both
for
areas.
both.
So I move that we accept the proposed plan.
Let Jan's gonna write this down.
Yeah.
We accept,
The proposed plan of the local historic district study committee
And actually,
regarding,
as stated in the bylaw, I think. Because that the bylaw.
we're not going to mention the bylaw.
Oh, you're not, okay, okay.
Um,
Then,
The
so,
letter.
The
so,
letter in the
The
email.
letter.
so instead, we're gonna respond to her
So,
email.
yes, so I
Okay.
move that we tentatively approve the plan submitted via email from the local,
Elizabeth Halley,
from the local historic district study committee regarding the composition of the local historic district commission.
Yeah.
okay.
And do we wanna,
Got
do you wanna
that
put a
on-
comma?
sorry.
I got it on
With-
video,
with-
but I
with-
won't see
with
the
several
video
questions.
until sometime
Yeah,
next
yeah,
month. I want to get the ready to go.
I'm gonna get a
It
second.
takes 2 weeks at least to get it going.
Well,
So,
do you
just
wanna
saying.
stop there, or do you wanna
Hold on, 'cause we.
leave the
all
door
right,
open more?
I think that's all we need in the motion.
so I guess they don't need it today. It's-
We accept the proposed plan of the local historic district committee, study committee regarding,
The composition of the local historic
Historic
district
District Commission.
commission.
Okay, Jan will be able to scribe that off the video. The exact wording isn't important tonight.
Yeah.
She'll have
So
that.
That's the motion.
That's the motion.
Yep.
We need a second, and then we need to go to comment.
Well,
I'll
maybe I
second
won't
that,
second.
but I don't know how to
Becky's-
even reply to what you just said.
I don't know what we're, seriously, what are we approving? Because we've been around.
What
the
we're
block
saying,
twice
our
now.
willingness.
Is that
The
the
wording is
members
not
of this
there.
commission will comprise the local historic district.
Willingness to have that.
Stop
do
right
that.
there.
Yeah, it's proposed or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'll get back to her, well, tomorrow probably. Just so they know they can send that thing off. We don't want to propose something that 7 people here said no to,
Right.
especially when there's only 6 of us.
Sometimes I feel like I'm too.
And that was my
Yeah.
suggestion, so that we didn't,
Okay, I sort of got something down,
Stumble.
so it's okay.
All right,
Okay.
So we're gonna
You
vote
have a
on this
second?
now?
I'll second it. Everybody?
Motion,
Now is a comment.
Rich?
Did you have comment?
Further comments?
No?
This is the comment session, okay? We're gonna go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay,
Okay.
I was telling
Here we go.
Thank you, everybody. Sorry I didn't explain it that well,
No worries.
but it's
Well,
complicated.
it's convoluted,
It
Yeah.
is.
really.
And you really need to read it, there's a
But-
whole section you need to read in the bylaw.
Lon, when you communicate with Elizabeth, we want to hear what
Other
what exactly
towns,
how the
yeah.
clock works from
Yeah.
other towns.
Yeah,
I'm sure that they're duplicating that, but we probably should have it for next meeting, because maybe you'll be coming back at us again, so I wanna see exactly how this works other places.
I mean, they should know, I mean,
Yeah.
they're Spinea,
Yeah.
I mean, they must have other sections like this that, with different cities and towns, so they've gotta have good examples of people
yeah,
that
well,
can use.
they must, because that's why she came in and said,
Yeah.
that the smaller towns usually do it this way,
Gotcha.
Okay.
but without getting into the specifics of what this way is.
All right, that's the end of that report. Website report.
Nothing new on my end. Starting to collect some more things, like you sent me the more stuff. I'm gonna probably do a update, like add a bunch of things next month, but
Yeah,
otherwise.
don't ask them to do anything right now.
Yeah, well, so every time I go in there, he kind of looks like he's, you know,
The door's locked,
it was locked today when I went and knocked on it, and I was like, and then
Because
I
they had
peeked
to-
in the old
because
office.
today they had to do the phones.
And I was like, is he in there? And he goes, oh, he is. And it just took him a minute to walk to the door. And when he opened the door, he looked like kind of like a drowned cat for a second. And I was like, hi, I'm just here to take care of you. I'm not here to bug you about anything, I promise.
Okay, so that's website report. Correspondence.
Correspondence. I believe I gave you all a bunch of stuff. One of them is being, I can see Rebecca's got it, that's the plot plan that Eva sent
Yep.
Yep.
me about the
Father Stone.
Father Stone, okay? So, that's what that is.
So the way I read this, it looks like we go 22 feet 48 inches in depth from the edge of pavement, and 38 feet 35 inches wide. So that says to me that we go all the way back
That's quite a
to
bit.
that, all the way back to that second wall.
Yeah.
So moving that back to a more
Yeah, that was-
protected area is a doable thing in terms of the
Yeah.
land that we control there.
Yeah.
It's actually 22 from the right-of-way. It's not the edge of the pavement.
Oh, okay,
So you've got even more.
yep. So it certainly goes back to that wall.
Now, is that something that we could get town guys to do for us? Like, would they do that moving? Because I mean, like, I
I'm
think.
sorry, the people who just put the stone back
Yeah.
on Boston
Well, that's what I'm
Road?
Someday.
saying. They would
Yeah.
do it, right? Like, they would be okay
yeah.
with doing it. Because I mean, I would think you would need to, like, you know, lift that up carefully
Yeah,
and
oh,
move
yeah,
it. So,
yeah. They did a good job with
Yeah,
the milestone.
James
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Company have been very,
They've been
very
good.
good
Yeah,
to us. I
yes.
mean, even
good,
with the
good.
stuff on the schoolhouse, they usually come right down and take care of it for us. They took care of that stone, lickety-split, and then he let me know that it was done, which was even nicer,
Good,
because I didn't have to double check on it,
So I can reach out to James.
I mean, this
And
makes so much
it's
sense to
It
do.
probably will have to wait till spring,
That's fine.
because that thing's probably frozen in 24 inches down. So,
I thought about it in the snow.
yeah,
Snowball.
but still, even just to put the bug in his ear
Yeah, so we can
and
plan
let
for
him
it.
know that we're planning that, and he may have some reason why we can't, I don't know, but we'll ask him, he's the expert,
Yeah.
so.
Well, we have the information.
I'll
I
reach
gave
out
the
to James,
information.
yeah.
Make sure he digs things in.
The legal documents.
Do we ever want to put like a sign or anything near there?
Maybe a cultural committee.
You know what I
would be a
mean?
good-
Because I feel like
Place for
people
that.
drive by and they're like, what the heck is that? And it
No,
might be
it
nice
does
to
need
have.
something, but
Like, I don't really want people to stop there, but like,
Yeah, the people who live there'd be really happy about that.
but it's still, I feel like it
But it's
needs
a
to
very
have
big
an
legal-
explanation.
I mean, you know, it's so historic.
Yeah.
that People should know what it is.
I really
mean,
should have something.
You know,
Yeah.
the fact that it's the, you know, the matches at the
Well, because
Smithsonian,
the stone
things like
before
that.
was like right on the road, and
Yeah.
it was very visible. And now it's like in this little
Yeah,
contained
it's in its own
pocket,
little,
so
like,
people
plot.
don't really notice it. So, yeah, I think it would be nice if we had something to say, oh, see this lovely thing that's right in the back of this
Yeah.
field right here?
That's
is-"
why this is here and protected, and we're very proud.
Well, I wonder if the cultural
Well,
committee would do that.
we should,
They did the salt
the
marsh.
next
they-
step
Did
would
they?
be is to
Yeah.
draw up a plan
A
where we
proposal.
want it.
Yep,
That way we don't have two more steps of back and forth.
Right.
Walk in the door and go, can you do this?
yeah.
And we want it back in the wall, right? Like, we don't want it in the middle of the
Right.
plot, right? We want it to be.
And if
Just
we can
in front of the
incorporate it in the
wall.
wall or just in front of the
I
wall.
put it, yes, then you have the wall to protect it,
Right.
behind it.
Yeah, so it's that's what I'm saying, like, versus pulling the wall apart to
Right,
put it
just
in.
set
it
Just
back.
put it like,
Just lay it up against
you know, on its
the
own little.
street facing,
Yeah,
street facing face of the wall. So that some jamoke with a lawnmower doesn't whack
or
it
just
up.
a
Yeah.
big plow drives by.
I think I
just-
That's
sent,
what I'm
but I'm
worried
not
about.
sure now, because it's like 4 weeks seems like a long time some days and not long enough in others. But I think I sent you all, I don't know, did I send you all the quick claims?
I think so, yeah.
Right, but this is for the stone.
Oh, okay.
It says, yes, where it is gonna stay there, and that we're in charge of making sure that it's taken care of, so.
And this is part of that responsibility.
I would
It
say,
is.
yeah, this is
I mean,
extra.
we're trying to take care of it, right? I mean, so that's good. So we have all the information about the
Okay.
stone. We have very competent folks on the Public Works that can handle moving it
Yep.
when it's feasible.
Yep, I'll send
Weather-wise.
an email with a rough out of what we want to do to James tomorrow. And I'll copy everybody, so you
Yeah.
get copied on the reply.
And like, I'd have no problem like meeting them out there too
Yeah,
one day
yeah.
when if they wanted to talk about it. Take a bunch of pictures and stuff. All right,
Because then there was the same thing with the granite protection stone.
Granite posts.
Right.
I think that we really reduce the need for the granite posts if we move it back. I mean, we're talking 22 feet away
Right.
from the
I know.
street. you
Yeah.
know.
Unless you want to
There's not a lot
just
of room
maybe
in
put
there,
one on
I
both
suppose.
corners and have, where the stone's in
I
the
think
middle
maybe
of the back there, so
to
it's.
be determined, because personally I feel like just two random granite posts like oddly look just to me, like,
And there's not a lot of land between the road and the stone wall. What was it, 3 feet?
Oh, yeah, it was little space, but once we move it back,
I don't think we need the granite
we
posts.
probably
is
don't
my
need the
point.
granite posts
I
or the
don't think
bollards
so.
or whatever to, to protect it,
Yeah.
because
Stone wall will.
The stone wall and just like
The-
land and
Right.
being set back is
Yep.
is more than I
Is
think.
there not a
enough.
road behind that piece?
there
I thought
is,
there
No,
there's
it's
like
property.
a right of way or a path or something. There is
Yeah.
something there, but it's not a road.
Okay,
Because Fieldstone Road goes up this way,
Right.
and then there's there's a little path behind that wall, but it's not, certainly not drivable.
Would we ever want plants to go in there or anything like that?
What do you want to
The
maintain?
reason,
No.
the reason I'm asking is that, well, as this volunteer group came, I run on ACES, I run the pollinator program. And they're a Newberry gardening group, and they want a beautification of Newberry.
Yep.
And they say, do you have any places where you'd like flowers or plants or
I guess it
gardens put in? So they would put it in and maintain it.
I guess it would depend on what they were putting in.
Yeah, we'd have to, yeah. I'm just
You know,
wondering.
if it was like wildflowers that filled in the whole plot, I'd be like, no,
Yeah.
because
No,
then it's
no,
gonna
no,
block
no.
it.
Yeah.
If it was like a couple geraniums, just to kind
I
of,
think we should
you
just
know,
leave it alone and put a sign out there
Yeah.
somewhere.
grass and subtle.
Or put
Yeah.
it, or put it behind it and then have it out in an open area.
No,
with that
tell
as a
them
backdrop.
to do all of the monuments around the green, because we always try and they
We
always
just
die.
can't- we just
Well,
can't
I
have
told
water.
him, I said, that's the first thing I said. That's the first thing I said. Bring some decent soil in
Yeah.
and put one right here. But it's the same
Something
thing, it
drought
requires
tolerant.
watering.
Okay, what else we got for correspondence?
I gave you all, I believe I sent you all a copy of the email that Eva had sent when the inquiry about the,
Yeah, it wasn't the Morse family. It was a cough and care and enslaved peoples.
Yeah.
That's what,
Remember
yeah, that one.
yeah, did I put it wrong on the
Yeah,
notes?
you put the Morse, that was, she was the one that sent the Morse ode just
Oh,
the
right.
information, there wasn't any,
Oh, you
You need
did,
to
yeah, you
respond.
didn't respond to that.
yeah.
So, what you did, that was the last month's. Sorry.
No.
Okay.
Where is that? I just had that
Um,
here.
And you all got a copy of that, everything is now townofnewbury, .org was changed to,
Oh, .gov, yes, most of us got that.
it's newburyma.gov. Total change, so. Let's make sure we all remember that. It's supposed to kick you back and say that it's been changed or something for
Yeah.
a while, but you know how that works. James replied, I sent him a follow-up question about the roof, because we had, at the last meeting, we had the two people bidding the same exact amount.
Same price.
Yeah, so he said that it's going to be JSS, and that they have ordered the materials, and looks like the 1st of May they will start, and it should take a week or so to complete.
It'll be done.
Fantastic.
So that means that it should be all done before we open schoolhouse,
Yeah.
which is even
That's
better.
Oh,
fantastic.
you know it.
So,
How are the windows coming?
They're still boarded up. I haven't spoken with James about,
Yeah, oh, I
Promise
was in
date or
there
anything.
today, actually.
yeah.
So,
I
okay.
don't have a promise date for when they'll be
Yeah.
back.
It's all
They're
right.
in process.
Somebody asked me, and I said, I didn't know.
I'm writing that down.
I wouldn't want to be installing windows right now.
No.
Should be continued.
Yeah. In process.
At a later
It's in
date.
process.
So, yeah, God love me, gets right back to me. I mean, it's awesome. I sent him a message at 11 in the morning, and at 1 I haven't answered. It's just really nice. I don't have to go chasing around after it. We got this thing about there's a project notification form, the old Hay Street barrier removal project. I'm like, okay. On behalf of the Department of, I think I sent this, I don't know if I sent this one or not to you guys, but Ty and Bond respectfully submits this project notification form and associated materials for the old Hay Street barrier removal project. I'm like, okay. So they're mostly just telling us, Mass Wildlife will obtain local, state, and federal authorizations for the project, and is notifying the geographically pertinent tribal historic preservation offices, say that 3 times ago, and the Town of Newbury Historical Commission during the stages of project planning and design. And I have a whole big, huge, fat thing somewhere here, if anybody wants to look at it. Because Chrissy nicely printed this all out for me, because
Yeah, where on Hay Street?
I'm like-
I'm so confused. Oh, Hay Street pretty well.
the project is located on the Little River, approximately 120 feet upstream west of the existing Hay Street Bridge in Newbury.
Oh, that's where the house is on the
I
side
have
of
to
the
look
hill at the end of
The
Newman
Little
Road?
River is
That's
a tidally, say that 3 times fast,
So
because
the
it's
one-
tidal.
That's the
B.
old mill site.
Influenced tributary to the Parker River. They're gonna remove the barrier caused by the former old Hay Street Causeway that crosses the Great Marsh at the Little River.
I know exactly what they're talking, well, why are they removing it?
That's Newman Road.
No, that strip, you can still see the trees along it. Right at the end of Newman Road, there's a strip of land where the old road used to run.
In front of you, or?
Yeah, right in front,
Right
right
in
at
front,
the end,
okay.
and it goes, towards the mill, where the mill was, the house. You could see it plain as day right there. I don't,
Where?
The
Why would they
the
wanna
tidal
change it?
restriction is contributing to the degradation and loss
Where?
That
of
was a- that was a pool.
upgradient
to
salt
hold-
marsh habitat.
Okay,
Can you
so
see-
what
you
that
should be
means,
able to
there's
see it.
probably
It's
some
right-
barrier
it's
in
right
the
here?
river
Yeah, it's
there.
right in here, where the old road went.
So like that, probably?
And that would be west of the bridge then.
That was the pond So when the tide was out, they could release the water and still keep the mill running.
The tidal mill, which is fairly unusual.
Well, that's why that was there, to hold the water, so when, at low tide, they could let it out slowly and still operate. So do you really want to remove that? I mean, it's part of the old,
I mean, I can forward this to anybody who would like to take a look at
I
it.
imagine
I'd
it's
take a
wood,
look
isn't
at
it?
it,
Is it wood?
I only have the one
No.
copy.
Stone.
it's a road, it used to be a road.
Oh, it's like an earthen dam kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Or
Earthen
berm?
dam. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
and there's places you can better see it. There
But
are photos where you can see the roundness of what they built to hold the water back.
Yeah. Distribute the
No,
forces.
Just letting us know.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
At this point.
I'm totally intrigued now.
But I'll bet the gate that actually does the blocking is wood.
Yeah, if they have to open and close it, yeah.
Yeah, that's
There
what I mean.
there isn't. It goes right to where the river is,
Yeah.
because it used to go over. That used to be the bridge was where that
That
berm or
thing
whatever it
is,
is,
yeah.
you're calling it now, ends. The bridge isn't there anymore.
But you
it
have,
used
you
to
have
go
to,
over-
you have to be able to open it at low tide.
No,
It fills
it
up
was
and
an
then you close
earthen,
it.
it was round, it was earth.
Yeah,
I don't
but
remember.
The water
There
has to
wasn't-
be able to get out.
Well, it went into the mill. It went into the mill system and was let out.
Oh.
So they drained it
So it
slowly.
flowed over the top,
It's-
Filled
flowed
up
over
like
the
a
top.
toilet tank.
Exactly.
flowed
and
there,
went
and
through
then
the
they
mill
let
to
it
get
out
back
down
Exactly.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's,
So there's photos here from the
That's pretty cool.
Images of America, Newbury Historical Society, Old Newbury, which some of us have.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think we have it at the schoolhouse too.
That was
Yep.
my,
So it shows
Seventh grade
pictures of what they're
grandfather.
talking
let's
about.
see.
once you see it, once you're down there and look,
Oh,
you're
I
gonna
see.
see it, no problem.
Okay, I've seen that picture before.
Yeah, that was my great-grandfather's.
It's still there, is what you're saying.
The berm is still there.
How have I never noticed this driving
Look
around?
at that, I'll be darned. Yeah,
Once you go look at it now.
Now
you're
I'll
gonna
see it.
Yeah, you can't miss it. It's got a bunch of
cool.
Trees and stuff?
abrevieties or,
Yeah.
no, they're kind of some kind of cedars
Okay,
that are prominent right along in a row.
okay.
And there was a couple of flags out there, I noticed. Orange flags at one
That
point,
must be part of this project.
maybe, or they were at least, yeah, looking.
Marking things.
So that's what that was. That was part of that mill site,
Interesting. And what's the reason for wanting to get rid of it?
to let the marsh.
Because
Something to do about wildlife.
it doesn't flow, like
You know,
the
it's
river,
just like all
the river
those
doesn't do this
meadow
anymore.
logs
It's
they're
not tidal.
protecting.
It
I've
comes
never
in
seen
and
one
then
out
somehow
there.
escapes, I don't know how it gets out of
Really,
there.
that's
Just-
what they're
just
protecting.
Yeah.
Draining, basically. All
Yeah.
right. Interesting.
I can forward this to anybody who wants to read it.
I'd like to read it.
So you're not getting this, it's the only one I got.
Just gonna forward the digital version. Send it to me too, I'd be interested in reading that. Cool.
I didn't even print it. I asked Chrissy to because
A
I'm
poor
like,
man's dam removal.
I'm spending too much money on ink and paper here.
The way that floods out there, though.
See, there's all
I mean, that water
kinds of
goes right over the road there a lot
pictures here,
now.
look, see?
Oh,
Here,
these
it's
days, you
circled
know
right
it.
there is what they're talking about, that little dinky piece of thing. That's all they're talking about, that one little Yahoo spot there.
Right, well, they're talking about the
Totally
thing that
intrigued
goes
about
out
that
there,
now.
right?
See, yeah, so water doesn't go into there unless it's high enough to get over
I'll
the
forward
berm.
it to
Yeah.
you and
And
Lauren,
then when it does, it's kind of trapped in there.
so
Yep.
you can look
And
at
then
it.
it has to
Because it doesn't
exit through
come
the
out the
mill.
back anymore
Right.
because there's no
I'll
mill.
s-
No outlet. yeah.
There's no mill.
Right, no mill, so it
And
just
so they
sits
want
there.
to take this out so that it opens that all up to the
It's a
tide.
tidal flow.
Yeah. So everything above it doesn't have it either, and everything uphill from there. Interesting.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I don't think it's uphill from that, it's
If
been blocked.
West
Yeah,
Coast
well,
do anything
there's not
with
much
it?
uphill
Boston
there.
Road,
Because
the mill
that's,
site, Four Rock Bridge.
that's real flat in there.
See the last
Trotters
paragraph
Bridge.
here?
That's interesting. That was clever of them, huh? Take advantage of the high tide.
Yep.
Trap the water.
To
and
answer
then-
your question,
And let it out the back door when
There
they
was a
need
grist
it.
mill and a couple of sawmills on that property.
the project is for Mass Division of Fisheries and Wildlife, for those that you are curious. Hay Street Barrier Removal Project will obtain local, state, and federal authorization for the project. notifying the tribal and the historic during these early stages. It's not asking us to do anything.
I think it's just notifying. I suppose
Officially
if we had a nutty fit about something that,
We'd have to contact
then we
our
could
selectmen.
contact them, but.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
No action
Next.
required.
Interesting.
I like that phrase, thanks, Rich.
I couldn't figure out how they got the water out, but then
Goes to the
somebody
mill,
said
that's the whole
something.
point. Yeah.
It's- They fill it from this end,
Yeah.
and then they empty it around going through
The
the
only
mill.
problem is it must have raised hell with any kind of machinery that was running through because it's salt water.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and it's
Well, it's
also
pretty
no,
Gracchus right
We
there.
got this
Yeah.
It
request,
was.
there's also no head.
Sorry?
we're moving on. I got this request, I have no idea why we're getting this. So, as a homeschooling mom to a child out on the autism spectrum, I'm reaching out to see if you accept guest submissions for your website.
Okay. What's the submission?
She wants to write something that might be valuable to our audience. I'm not sure if she realizes that
I mean,
we're a town committee,
yeah. I mean,
or it's,
I don't-
we don't, our website is
I mean,
1635
Yeah.
website is the only website we have, otherwise it's just the town, so.
Yeah.
I mean, no, we don't usually.
Well, they're,
the answer
they're
is
looking,
no, we do not accept.
I appreciate it. Maybe if we ever have a Facebook page, we can have a post, which, you know, I
yeah,
keep
we don't
needing
have
to
a
do.
blog, or we
Yeah.
don't have a Facebook page.
Yeah,
we
like an
don't have-
Instagram or something,
No,
but no.
this is,
Little fan submission,
we have a small database, and that's about it.
yeah.
Oh, that's long.
Crowdsourcing.
And Bill DeMayo, who was at our last meeting, he spoke to Tracy and he's he's on the select board and spoke to them about the stone, the witch's stone.
Right,
So,
okay.
He was also gonna check on the date stone.
Right.
Right.
Central Street.
Manor Fields.
this is mostly all talking about the witch's stone.
Okay. All right,
Somebody, gentleman Kevin Neville, he's looking to buy, 4th Central Street, which is right after the road to the library before you get to the post office.
So next to the gas station?
No, across, it's on the other side of the road.
Is that
And-
the old parsonage from the church? Is it that White House with the long ramp?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
The road
Yeah.
that goes to this library is
Yeah,
here,
Love
and on
Street.
the corner of the house,
Yep,
that house right there.
number 4.
Yeah. He wants to know about, he's talking, quoting building materials and style, and I'm like, I don't know what he's asking about. So I asked him if he was talking about the town's demolition delay bylaw. But he never got back to me, so,
Oh, wait.
I think
Yeah.
4 is even further down.
They want 500 for that? My goodness.
that's it.
The little one, it's across from like Bill's,
Across from the church.
no, it's like literally across from his Main Street plumbing.
Oh, okay.
So like right there.
Oh, Sandy's house?
It's the one with the ramp.
Yeah,
The big ramp going on? Yeah.
Sandy's house.
It's,
That house?
I don't know what it is.
Everybody's supposed to take conflict of interest training
Yes.
and ethics online stuff.
Yeah,
We'll do
so
it.
Thing that-
you've got an email on it, it's not that bad.
You just have to click
Just
through it.
keep clicking.
It's not like it's new.
No, I know. It's just a matter of sitting
I'm
down.
retired. I thought I got
Yeah,
away from
yeah,
compliance.
I know, exactly.
So we all have to get it done, so Channing already did his.
Don't mind that. Lon, when you do yours, you can look up the
Yeah.
that training,
Yeah.
it talks about 2 boards.
Okay.
So that'll be the state rules.
And the documentation is in the system, right? We don't have to send a certificate to,
Correct. You
That's
just
what
have
it
to
said,
complete
yeah.
it and hit the button at the end that
Yeah.
says, like, I did it.
okay,
It's all new now.
yep.
And I believe I gave you all this that has the picture of
Yeah.
the house on it. So it's, they're having romantic Newburyport Historic Homes happy hour tour with no alcohol.
Sounds
That's not
thrilling.
such a happy
Where
hour,
is this? Is this a house in town? Why do I
Yeah.
not recognize this house?
I don't recognize it.
It's Greek revival, it's the mid-1800s, somewhere there, so now you have something to do.
Now, yeah, well, now I'm like, where is this house? It's hidden in the trees somewhere.
Where is it?
Allegedly, it's in Newburyport. I just don't recognize it.
I don't either.
Newburyport?
Apparently,
What does that got to do with us?
nothing. They're having a tour.
Oh, and stuff that's been coming through the Mass Hist Press, which probably none of you look at.
Sometimes they do.
Oh, I see.
Somebody was asking, they asked some very interesting questions, like, how much does it cost to get a consultant to like do your DDB stuff?
Right.
Like to get stuff on Macris or things like to that effect? And they said they know someone that it's between $150 and $300 range
I could see that.
Per house.
per house,
Per house.
yeah.
Which
So-
isn't bad.
Because for this, it's anyone here assess a fee as part of a DDB bylaw. So they're answering with the interest, the amounts of money and things.
But that's for doing the Macris listings.
To do stuff with demolition delay bylaws. So if you have the house on,
Oh, so you've got you need a professional research done on a proposed demolition house.
they're considering adding a fee to cover, they're working on a revision for their DDB.
Okay.
All right, so this is Holliston.
Well, that's what the
So-
research charges.
So research fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, just so we know that things are out there. So I try to keep the stuff and save it in a different email section. I have one called Mass His Press, just so if I ever have to look these things up, I won't have to go through 10,000 emails. So takes care of that part. There's just been a lot of interesting information coming through lately about DDBs from different cities and towns. Winchester is changing something, so they put the information out. So I try to read through this because, we haven't finished revising ours yet. So it's good info to have, to see what the other cities and towns are doing, so. It doesn't seem like it's a great big, oh, you want a what? But everybody else is doing it, so there you go. And then in case anybody cares, I just wanted to let you know that the tree warden is having a public hearing on the 27th at 7 o'clock in the second floor hearing room, because the trees that they're taking down.
And one of them is right near the farther stop.
You what?
Oh, what is it?
Coleman Road opposite One Long Brook Road, 2 trees they're pruning. Not taken down though, just pruning. 19
Coleman Road, corner of Fieldstone, that's,
There's different, but there's,
or is that on
Three
the
different.
farmhouse, where the farmhouse is?
yeah, there's Coleman Road at the corner of Fieldstone, there's a 48-inch oak they're pruning. There's 19 Coleman Road, there's 1 oak that they're pruning. The Coleman Road opposite One Longbrook Road, there's 2 trees they're pruning. So it's only, there's a Central Street ash tree being removed, Graham Avenue, they're removing a tree. They're removing a tree between 181 and 131 Middle Road, 114 and 116 Elm Street, and Corsa Brook Drive at the cul-de-sac, they're removing a damaged tree. So just so, in case anybody has a nutty fit
So all
about
the
trees
Coleman
coming
ones are
down.
just pruned.
Because sometimes we do not want some of these trees to be going
Yeah.
down if we can help it, so.
I'm all for pruning and maintenance.
Okay, that was you. Agreed. And then we got a
This
request,
sounded
we got
a lot like
a notification asking, how do we get permission to have something on the upper green? I had no answer for that.
What-
Board of Selectmen.
So it's actually, there's a form.
Like an event, is that what they're asking?
Yeah,
Like to have an
there's a
event?
form to fill out, and then it gets presented to and signed by the select board, because they are going to have, or they're hoping to have, the 250th celebration of the anniversary of the send-off of the Quebec expedition from Newbury and Newburyport.
Jack.
This will take place on the
Santos.
weekend of September 19th, and we need permission to do it, to have people reenact the Revolutionary War encampment on the upper green. I think
That
that's so
would be
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
Because
I remember the last one. we
people
did.
don't understand that there's that big stone there, and it's Benedict Arnold, and they
Right.
go, Benedict Arnold? And I go, well, he was good then.
He was a good general then.
We liked him then, that's why it's
But then he
not
started
there.
listening to his wife.
Yeah, so that's what that was about, and now I found out that there's a form, so I got the form to this Jack. And, Jack
So they wanna do that
Santos.
when, this May?
Um,
Did he say when?
September
Oh,
19th.
September, okay.
So I told him to keep us, to keep us, appraised of how things are
We should
going.
remember that, see if we can get, like, I don't know, some involvement or. at
That,
least-
yeah, that's, I said, we'd be
That would've
very
been my
interested
grandmother's
in knowing what's
100th
going on
birthday, but she
and, to let us know as things progress along, so
Yeah.
it should be interesting. That would be fun, something fun,
Yeah,
you know.
no, I'm all about like, next year's the 250th
And then
for the
we
country
got
too.
this-
We
Yeah.
should do something. I mean, I know that's not our town, but still.
Dear
Yeah, look at the people
colleague,
at March
this
and
is from the
Newburyport.
National Museum Survey Reminder. I'm like, survey reminder?
yeah.
When did we get a survey thing? On January 27th, the Institute of Museum and Library Services launched the National Museum Survey, the first federal data collection specifically designed for the museum field. Hence, they want us to do this form, take a survey about the Lower Green Schoolhouse. So, it's out there.
Okay.
So are they gonna send it to us, or do we have to go online and do it, or?
It's on, it's
There's a
attached
click
to
there,
the.
take the survey.
Please, click here.
I wonder if
Well,
this
For
I
has
think we
to
should
do
do
with.
it.
information, you can go to www.imls.gov/NMS. So, I don't know.
I think we should get it listed in there. because
So-
it'll-
Our
Probably end up
schoolhouse
in
is
the
not
nas-
listed, I've looked it up, and it's not on any of the inventories, national or state or anything.
No,
One of the
because
things
one
we
of the
came
things
up
got
with,
submitted and it didn't ever make it into the MACRIS, and we don't know why. It got submitted, I have a
Yeah.
copy of it. No, nothing happened, we don't know why, because
Hmm.
all those people it was a long time ago. I think it was when they were getting ready to redo the building.
well, there were like 140,000 one-room schoolhouses in 1919. And about 100 years later, there's 400 left.
Amazing.
And even fewer on their original site. A lot of them have been picked up and moved over here.
Yep.
We're not only on the original site, but we're on the original site where the last schoolhouse was too.
So you're gonna do
So
that.
it's amazing.
Double duty, we're gonna
This is,
look at it, I
it's
don't
really
know.
rare, and we're not
Something
on any
along
register.
with Somebody else to do it,
Takes less than an hour,
okay.
they say.
Yeah, I'd like to least look at what it
I
involves.
can certainly send the email to. Anybody else wanna see it, or
I'm good.
Eva?
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Lon? I will send that along to other folk. This was like just wicked. And as Lon already spoke, we got an email from Jen Doherty saying that she is leaving in
Yeah.
Friday the 14th. Until a new local government programs coordinator is hired, you can contact the main Mass Historical Commission phone and email address with local government questions, and she gives the information in case people don't, because they were just so used to go to her. So that'll be interesting.
I hope she did a good job in handing off the review of our document.
Well, she's, you know, she was very
Yeah,
competent.
we've got the name, we know who's doing it.
And then, I asked Chrissy if they have any kind of a map for the solar thing that we talked about last month on Scotland Road. And she said she asked Peter, and he stated it's in the planning board project, and it's still in the planning phase, and it's going through planning with the state. Nothing with building yet. Next time, she says next time she sees Daniel or Kristen, she'll check with them and let us know what's going on, or if we need to know anything with it, so.
Great.
All right, well,
Too many,
keep
you know,
that
things.
somewhere, we think of it in 3 months, we'll call them, contact her again and ask her again.
So she's pretty good with keeping me up to date on stuff. I mean, we bonded. So, I think that's the end of the mail. I mean, I was like
Is that you?
drowning
Like,
in
my
mail.
phone's ringing, but I don't see anything.
What about this dam thing,
Husband wants to bring it.
Larkin Road dam
Lock and
thing?
road dam removal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, who cares?
There's that. Yeah.
I think everybody's got it in their packets, the Larkin Road dam letter. Consulting update.
Oh, is that it?
I think so.
No, that's the bylaw.
Says they want to identify historical
Oh,
architectural properties while they tore them all down, so there's nothing left. It's just a rock wall.
That's the dam, right? That's not this one.
Noah. No, yeah. Yeah, it's that thing,
Locken Road Dam Removal Project. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what this whole thing is.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like way too much information. Somebody really wants to see it. Talker River Restoration Project, Locken Road Dam Removal. And as
No.
far as I know, that's been in the works for quite some time,
Really?
right?
Paragraph 3, it says, no historic properties are identified in the APE. River upland recommended. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see anything that involves us.
No, but just letting this, I don't like people go, did you know they were tearing that down? You didn't tell us? But you know what would happen. The one
I guess
thing
we
I don't
should
think
probably at
about.
least have a file folder with this in
Oh,
it.
shocking that I should have another file folder in my house.
We love it.
Right along the whole back wall of my dining room is boxes of historical information.
And
That's-
Jen dies, we're just gonna bury her with
I'm
all
gonna
the
just say that
papers.
as far as I know, I think we've gone through all the mail. This is
Okay.
just, I'm up to my
Being
eyeballs.
absorbed.
I've got one
Let's
piece
see,
of incoming
right?
correspondence here that you don't know about. A donation for the Historic Commission.
An ashtray?
It is, I am pleased to send, this came to my mailbox via the post office, send you the enclosed ashtray commemorating protection number 1 of Old Newbury firefighting days. The souvenir comes to you from the collection of my late husband, Nelson L. Dion Jr., who was an avid student, collector, and enthusiast of fire history. I have no idea about its provenance. While Nelson was best known for his award-winning Salem History Collection, now at Salem State University Archives, you will always kept an eye out for historic firefighting items.
Never seen it.
Really?
I was with Nelson one more occasion when we dropped by the fire station in Morgan Ave to see some of the collective items there. He would be pleased to know that this modest object is in your hands. So we'll find a shelf for it at the
Does
Schoolhouse.
it make
Or
sense?
should
Should we put it
in the
out
case out
there?
here?
Because that's where all
Yeah,
the
all the
historical
firefighting stuff is.
firefighter stuff is.
Or it's across the street in the museum.
That's what I'm saying. I would think it would make more sense to be in these locations
firehouse
versus
Within
the
our,
schoolhouse.
our schoolhouse, personally.
And I think she might, it sounds like she might appreciate that
Yeah.
too.
Like, I have
If
no
he was-
problem that she gave it to us in general, but I think it
To
should be
make sure it's
with the.
historically taken care of.
Yes.
So what are the suggestions?
All I'm concerned with tonight is sending a gift card, not a gift, thank you.
Correspondence to her that we
Give you
accepted
the-
it.
Thank you, yeah.
I mean, cause like, what else is out there? It has plenty of space. There's not much out there in those little cabinets. And I've never even been across the street. It's awful. I should wander
What is
over
that?
there.
We should do a
Yeah.
field trip someday.
Oh,
I know.
yeah, you love it.
Yeah, I've never just,
Yeah.
I've gone to the butchery 1,000 times and I've never
No.
gone there.
It's, yeah.
I will
Oh,
send a
that's
thank
all,
you.
okay. It just,
No, it's just
I mean,
historic
An
memorabilia.
ashtray's a relic nowadays. You
It
know,
is.
You never see
Right.
an ashtray.
They're actually selling in the store now.
that's,
I'm
we
actually
shouldn't,
out
they don't
buying
want
them.
one
Yeah.
displayed in our
Because
schoolhouse.
they're so vintage. They're
Yeah.
so,
So I will send her a thank you. That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice that people, you know,
Yeah, I think so
instead of
too.
tossing stuff or whatever, that they give it to,
Yeah, we could've been right
thinking
there,
if
yeah.
somebody might want
Yeah.
it, you know, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Jan, the only other thing I see on the agenda here is Ferry House High Road work stoppage.
Yeah, they got
Did they
stopped.
stop
yeah.
again? Yeah.
Because they,
We talked about that last month.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
but
it's continued.
they've
and
got
stuff.
the preservation restriction on it.
They've been
that
told no.
Spinea has,
Right.
and they were gonna take the piece and move it back.
Yep,
No, they said
they
no.
were refused.
So that's their purview, they have the
They
restriction,
hold
it's
the
not,
restriction. right.
not on our nose, so, and I
So
believe
it's
I,
nothing to do with elevations, now,
No,
it-
they're
now
not
it
allowed
has to
to
do with
take it
doing
apart
it
at all, yeah.
nothing,
Wow.
done. Hey,
There'll be,
better them than us,
there'll be,
Yeah.
there'll be a house for sale.
That's,
So-
yeah, that's unfortunate.
it
yeah.
is,
Yeah.
but they knew they had a restriction on that house and they bought it,
That's
so
right.
Yeah.
people can't act all
Or
surprised.
they'll just come up
Yeah,
with
it-
another
It just
plan.
bothers me that they tried to do it right, and they
Yeah.
let us,
Yeah.
got
That's
us
true,
involved
yeah.
early on and everything.
Yeah,
and-
they did try to do the right thing,
They
which is
came to
nice,
us and
and,
asked
Oh,
about
I'm
it
sure
and
they
everything.
spent a
we did.
fortune with that architect too,
Yeah.
because he's,
and the
he's
same
top of
thing with
line.
the folks at the end of the green.
Yeah,
They came to us, they talked to us, they tried
Kenny.
to, you know, so everything, street view is what's really the most important to me. I mean, even with the barn, they did the sliding things, when they're closed, you don't even know there's anything
That you
there.
don't know it's a garage.
You know, that's all we ask, is a little cooperation and a little
Yeah.
caring about, people wanna come here because it's so historic, and then they can't wait to destroy it. I don't understand the concept, it confuses me, so.
yeah.
Anything else on this list? Lord help us all.
No.
We did the Ferry Stone, we
Alright,
did that.
we wrapping it up?
The schoolhouse, the roof. I told you about the roof, right? That's all done?
Yep.
Okay.
So I know we're running into overtime, so I won't belabor this. I brought something for show and tell, and I want to encourage other people to, the last 5 minutes of our meeting should try, once and when people are to do show and tell. It's pertaining to something that we've dealt with, and sometimes things in life come and find you at the damnedest times. So we're cleaning up my father's house, and we've been talking about the Bay Road, old Bay Road stones that we just
Yeah.
fixed. So so my great-grandfather Channing Howard of Easton was an engineer that built a lot of the highways and things all over Massachusetts. But he also specialized, he was the head of the Historic Commission in Winthrop, Mass. And sort of makes me smirk that now I'm the head here. He was the head in Winthrop, Mass. And he did lots of research work. And one of his projects was the Bay State Road. This one that I found cleaning my father's attic, this is the Bay State Road that goes south from Boston, Mass. To Plymouth, Mass. And identifying every single one of the stones.
No
He did this
kidding.
work
Wow.
in
Nice.
1958. So this just landed in my hands, and
1735,
Seriously.
1730,
so it
I
shows
have
this.
pictures just like this.
Where did I
1727.
read about
So he also did something a bit like this about, so there was another Bay
Camera?
State Road that goes out through Wellesley and Route 9, and then, of course, the one coming up here to us. He was, I don't know how much he was involved in the northerly one, but it's really strange that the man that originally settled my 3 houses in Byfield, 100 years later, Judge Samuel Sewell comes back and wants to preserve the stones and record them on the Bay State Road coming north, all tying this thing all together in a strange way.
That's pretty neat.
That is cool.
It's pretty neat.
Nice. I love this stuff. Which is why we're on this commission.
I
We didn't like this stuff, we're the
It's
wrong
meant to
room.
be.
I got that way.
know. What's the blueprint they
Wow.
did it on the back? Did you really look at
I don't know
that?
what the blueprint is. It's probably of some building in
Neat.
Boston. My grandfather and my last 3 generations did engineering. The Danvers Water Tower, all the water lines and sewer lines
Pleasant
through
Street
Metro
somewhere.
Boston, part and parcel of the elevated, what is now, the elevated highway through Boston, Seaport, Channing Howard designed the narrow gauge railway in Plymouth and Sagamore
I'm kidding.
that goes right up near the Cape Cod Canal and that whole area around there. So it's quite interesting. My sister gave me a tub that's this big.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
I was gonna
just
say.
Piles and piles.
How's it
of
going
stuff.
with the house?
We haven't cracked that yet.
Slow
We're
and
just-
steady.
We're just doing research at this point.
Sunset Road, Court, here's a street, Pleasant Street. It's got all the chimneys, contract line, contract limits.
So you give her a Picasso, she's
Yeah.
really interested in the frame.
Well, I mean, it caught my eye. I'm like,
That
oh,
was
look
on
at the
back,
drawing.
So I didn't realize there was anything on the back, so
Yeah.
I'm looking now, yeah. I
Well, because
know.
like it's a real blueprint. Like
Yeah.
you don't even
Yeah.
see those anymore, you know?
Blueprints.
So
that's-
And I remember that,
Yeah.
when they were blueprints.
Yeah,
My dad built houses.
So that's show and tell for
What's
the
the
month.
Very nice, yeah.
That's,
Are you gonna have that framed?
What's the other one? I didn't see that.
yeah, I'm gonna figure out what to do with them. It's all just landed on my lap. And that's when
1921.
families were migratory in the summertime, because we didn't
Yeah.
have air conditioning. So the Howard family, which settled east in Massachusetts, they all went to, summertime you went to the Cape. The men went to Boston every day, and the rest of the family went to the Cape, and or the White Mountains, or Winnipesaukee, and those areas up there. That's what the railroad was for, that's how you moved about the state. It was hot, there was no air conditioning in the city, everybody had to get out of the city, and that's how everybody spent their summers.
Yep. Happened in Melrose, ironically, people came to Melrose from Boston to get away from the heat
Right?
of the
Isn't that
summer. And I'm
crazy?
like, hello? Like,
There's much more green there, though. That's all it needed.
well, because the Beebe families were big there. Beebe Estate was up the street from my house. Another great big one in Wakefield, next town over, which at least had Lake Quannapowitt there, but we only had like little pondy thing, but yeah, just to get,
Well, it's like
things
when
you don't think
Beverly
about.
Farms is all like summer houses.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you think of it like that.
There used to be a huge hotel in Beverly Farms.
Very important summer house.
Yeah.
So I've got my show and tell, I think. You know, the 1635 map that was put together that we have a 11 by 17 of. I think I have the pencil sketch of that
Wow.
that we're putting together. And I bought it at the Barton sale.
Oh, fabulous.
Ooh.
I haven't opened it because it's like
Fragile.
tissue paper.
Yeah.
It's just waiting to die. And I had to figure out how to get it open and get it scanned.
Fabulous.
Because so we've got it, and then maybe figure out how to mount it on something.
Yeah.
But that's what it looks like.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Good score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got a handwritten mathematics book. made on homemade paper.
No kidding.
Nice,
Love it.
very
It
nice.
goes through linear algebra. So,
All right, I'll entertain a
Mathematics.
motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second,
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's do it.